This is We All Be, news-free Dixie for the 21st century. See how it works? Somewhere. Can you dig it? Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us on this very important day. Today is March 30th, 2024. This is an actual feast day of one Sister Thea Bowman. Sister Thea Bowman right here. She died March 30th, 1990. Became a righteous ancestor March 30th, 1990. And I made it my mission to bring awareness to her amazing legacy because she left her mortal remains. It remains in the ground, the mortal remains, but the soul, the spirit, the energy of Sister Thea lives on because she is truly a righteous ancestor. If you was here with me right now, you could feel that wind howling. That's the ancestors giving their approval that we be here today to recognize this extraordinary woman and humane being. I say Hugh, H-U-E, and Maine, M-A-N-E, being. She was definitely a servant of God. She was ordained that by the Catholic Church back in, I'm gonna say it was 2018, I believe, either 2017 or 2018, when she was ordained by the Catholic Church as a servant of God, or recognized as a servant of God. She is on her way to becoming a saint, a recognized saint. But I actually look at her as already a saint, call her Saint Thea already. And just want to bring notice, like I'm in South Memphis, Soulsville, USA, home of Stax, birthplace of Aretha Franklin, one-time home of Johnny Ace, the late great Johnny Ace, John Marshall Alexander Jr., who was one of the first rock and roll stars, and really one of the first rock and roll tragedies. Taken out of here Christmas night, 1954, at the age of 25. But we're not talking about those people. Also, this is the first place that the first all-black Hollywood talkie movie was made in this neighborhood. There is no historic marker yet to mark that occasion, but it is called Hallelujah. It's like a musical based on gospel and all this stuff. Like if you love Tyler Perry stuff and all this stuff, this predates Tyler Perry. Introduced us to Nina Mae McKinney. She was the Dorothy Dangerous and Halle Berry of her time. She was just a late teens when she came on the scene. And it was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Director. King Vidor from Galveston, Texas, the same place of the home of the one and only Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion. But King Vidor was nominated for an Oscar for Best Director for the talkie known as Hallelujah. And here we are today. Who was Sister Thea? Sister Thea was born December 29th, 1937, down in Yazoo City, Mississippi, the mighty Sip. She was raised by her parents, who are lying next to her, Sister Mary and Brother Theon, Dr. Theon. These are her people. Daddy was a very well-respected medical doctor in the community, and her mom was a highly respected educator in the community. So I would guess it'll be like, you could say she was like a middle class. I mean, she had some privileges, middle class existence, parents doing good, well. But the thing about it is, Jesus or God or Yahweh came to Sister Thea early in life, and she gave herself to the Lord, to God, to the Most High, for her work on earth. And so she actually left home in her teenage years to go up to Wisconsin. That's her. That's the ancestors blowing. She went up to this non-order known as the Franciscan Sisters of the Perpetual Adoration. I believe it's Franciscan Sisters of the Perpetual Adoration. This is up in Wisconsin. I want to say it was La Crosse, Wisconsin. And this is like a convent that she went to. Come to find out, she was the Jackie Robinson of nuns for that order, at least, because she was the first black nun that they had in that order. Nothing but white people, white women who never encountered actual, real, living black people in person. That's how isolated this convent was from so-called black people. But she was the first black nun of that order, of that convent, as they call it, I think. And to this day, from my understanding, according to what I read on the internet recently, there is no other black nuns after Sister Thea in an order. So she came there. Her thing was trying to spread love, to be an ambassador of God's love, unconditional love, acceptance of people, particularly black people in predominantly white-dominated spaces. Her job was to bring awareness to black people and our culture, to celebrate it within these so-called predominantly, I'm trying to pronounce, white institutions, PWIs. So her thing was to come and integrate with love, understanding, and knowledge of self. And she was definitely a master teacher. She got a doctorate in academia. She was a professor at one point. She ended up teaching high school students, I believe, or middle school down in Mississippi. And she just had a love for spreading the gospel and to how to train the frozen chosen, some of these white bishops and priests. She had to train them how to be more soulful in their delivery, more soulful in their connection with the people and the feeling. Don't fight it, just feel it. She came with that soul, you understand, the stuff that made people like the Sam Cooks and the Ray Charles and the James Brown, because they all started in the church. Something about what Du Bois would talk about was the sorrow song. This was the greatest gift to America from the Negro. You know, Du Bois talk about the double consciousness of being black in this space. And he also talk about how our sorrow was the treasure for this country, for this republic known as United States of America. And Sister Thea, the granddaughter of slaves, overstood the mission because she was a gifted songstress, a singer. She had an operatic range, and I believe she was mostly self-taught. There's a beautiful, natural singing voice, operatic range. Don't forget, Mississippi produced some amazing singers. I mean, Sam Cooke from Clarksdale, right? Aretha Franklin, both her parents from Mississippi, right? You got Muddy Waters, Robert Johnson, John Lee Hooker. You got so many great musicians from the state of Mississippi. I believe that Mississippi got more Grammy nominated and winning artists than any other state that's connected to it. Like, even you take somebody like Quincy Jones, right? Quincy Jones ain't from Mississippi. He's from Chicago, that Solomon town. But his people from Vicksburg, Mississippi. So they came up north, sheltered in Chicago. Look up the Jones brothers. They were policy kings. They're like black gangsters up in Chicago. It's an interesting story, but we're not talking about black gangsters today. We're talking about Sister Thea Bowman. That's what we're talking about today. Sister, or I call Sister Thea Bowman. Remember that name. So, she actually was inspired early on to be an educational pioneer by the white nuns that came down to Mississippi in her youth to teach the black children. Because back in those days, I don't believe black folks could worship in the Catholic Church in Mississippi with white people. So blacks and whites could not mix in the church. You know, Dr. King had a saying, I remember it was attributed to Dr. King, that the most segregated time in America is on Sunday. Sunday is the most segregated time in America. And so she had to encounter all that early on, but it was the white nuns that really inspired her to pursue service in honor of God, of Lord Jesus, Yahweh, Yeshua, whatever you call him. or it or whatever your preference. So she carried that torch and she took it to them. She was an interesting person. If you look at some of her later pictures, like she started out in the traditional habit, you know, what the nuns wear, traditional dress, but by the time she transitioned to a righteous ancestor, she was fully connected to her African heritage, to her blackness, her black universalness, you understand? Because the universe is black. It's black. Black is not evil. Black is not death. Black is life. Black is love. Black is everything. So she came back to her roots that a lot of us are ashamed to embrace. Like she wore her dashikis, you know, African dress wear and stuff like that. And she was comfortable among the bishops, among like people like the Pope or something like that. She came as herself 100% every time. And this is a lesson that everybody should take with them. Show up as you 100%. In life, life is most about showing up. You can decide to show out, but it's most about showing up, right? Sister Thea was always presente, or whatever. She was always present. She was always present, and she represented herself 100%. What you see is what you got, but also with so much more. Like I said, she was a gifted communicator. Like she could, you know, talk with heads of state as well as the homeless person on the street and treat them all equally. She was very comfortable in who she was in her own skin because she knew who she was, who she is. She knew who she be. So knowledge of self, ladies and gentlemen, scholars and laymen, is the key to all excellent pursuits in life. When you want to pursue something, be great, you gotta have your foundation, knowledge of self, because knowledge of self will provide you the toughness, the resilience, and the confidence to take on a world that was not made in your favor. To be able to bend a world that's not made in your favor, to manifest what you want. That's why it's important to know knowledge of self. Like to paraphrase the great Marcus Mosiah Garvey, said a people without history is like a tree without roots. So be rooted in whose you is and whose you are and where's you come from and who's your people. Be rooted in that so you can grow an amazing, mighty legacy. This is important. So Sister Thea, although she didn't have any biological children, she has spiritual children. I mean, people that she trained, people that she encountered, that was exposed to her genius, to her gift, to be able to give love as well as to receive it, even while she was dying of cancer that eventually took her life in 1990. She made it her business to be on the mission, to be in pursuit of excellence, of happiness, to be a living embodiment of God's mercy and love. So this is why she is so important to remember Sister Thea Bowman. It's very important to remember her, but also remember that there's no such thing as a small gesture when it comes to the Most High. And I want to read something from Sister Thea. I think it's very important to know. Sister Thea said this. This is from Sister Thea for me. I think the difference between me and some people is that I'm content to do my little bit. She's content to do her little bit. Sometimes people think they have to do big things in order to make change. But if each one would light a candle, we have a tremendous light. She also said, I know that God is using me in ways beyond my comprehension. So what she's telling us right now, even on this sunny, sunshiny day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, love, love, love. She's telling this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. That's important. So, Never think that what you do is small. It adds up. The little things add up the big things. Just gotta keep on trying. I had a professor, Jegna, excuse me. I don't call him mentor, I call him Jegna. A Jegna of mine, Dr. Emmett Price, told me the only way you fail is if you stop trying. The only way that you fail is if you stop trying. Now you think about this. Your sister Thea's grave, she told the people she wanted this on her tombstone. She tried. She got that on her tombstone. She tried. And that's very important to remember, to try. You can never fail if you keep on trying. If you keep on being a part of the solution rather than part of the problem. So this is very important to realize this. And so we are here in this cemetery. In this cemetery, people would say that cemeteries are where they keep dead things, right? People say the cemetery is full of dead things. Why are you here? Her soul is not here, but her soul is here. It's everywhere. It's omnipresent. When you feel that wind, she's giving me confirmation that she hears what I'm saying. She knows my intentions. She loves us all. So she's reminding us that. But I would tell people, if cemeteries where they keep dead things, how come there's grass growing? How come there's so many beautiful trees, award-winning trees? I mean, these are some of the best trees in the state of Tennessee. Some of them won awards, right? Expressive trees, like a lot of expression. So, and you got ants, you got ant hills, you got birds, you got insects. So how is this a place of dead things when there's so much life? This is a part of life. Like I come here, people ask me, well, you know, why you go to cemeteries a lot, Brother Ron? Well, I like to eat lunch here. You know, sometimes I'll go down. This is a very impressive lot in this cemetery. Just like living Black history in a way, if you can acknowledge what it is. Like sometimes when I go have a money issue or financial problem, I'll do a chicken lunch down this way on this street at the church mausoleum. Robert Church Sr. was the savior of Memphis, right? He actually saved the city when it lost its city charter because of the yellow fever epidemic. And he actually brought the first city bond for $1,000 back in those times. It's 19th century. But before that, he was almost killed in his saloon on Beale Street during the Memphis Race Massacre of 1866. And that which led to the Reconstruction period. There was a very great period for a decade where Black folks were prosperous and people, and that's another thing I want to say, like with Sister Thea, she had her hardships and stuff like that. But people get mad at a certain orange character when he says, make America great again. My thing is this, I'm a Black person. I don't wake up feeling oppressed every morning. I don't wake up thinking about the obstacles I gotta face. I thank God that I could get up and move around. I thank God that I have the free will to choose how I want to live my life. I thank God that I can stand on something, that I know whose I am and whose I be, where my people come from. So my thing is, there were moments, and even Sister Thea, she came through Jim Crow. I mean, she could have easily gave up when the blacks and whites could not worship in church down in Mississippi. But she knew God was real because he sent white nuns from the north to teach the Black children. Same thing with Rosa Parks. She talked about the impact of white nuns coming down to Alabama to teach the Black children, and how they, according to her friend and classmate, they taught them critical thinking skills. And that's why it was important that that foundation of understanding critical thinking helped her to become an effective activist and advocate for civil rights. So that's something to think about. But Sister Thea, she's amazing. Like I said, Black history is stranger than fiction. Real Black history or Black facts it's better than a science fiction movie from Hollywood. Like Sister Thea, the movies, if you know about the movie Sister Act, is probably loosely based on Sister Thea. Sister Thea did this famous interview with Mike Wallace on 60 Minutes. And you know, Mike was impressed, you know, oh, Sister Thea, you know, And she actually persuaded Mike Wallace on camera to say Black is beautiful. He's like, oh, I like it. Black is beautiful. Black is beautiful. So Mike Wallace said that, and Mike Wallace was interested because Mike Wallace, you know, He was the guy that interviewed the Nation of Islam back in the 50s, 1950s. He interviewed Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, and he had a great journalist that we've forgotten about, Louis Lomax, an unsung black media pioneer. Louis Lomax helped him produce this documentary called The Hate That Hate Produce. The Hate That Hate Produce still should be available on YouTube, but it introduced America to the, people will say, cult known as the Nation of Islam, with these Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X. Got this, no, but Mike Wallace is used to being in uncomfortable situations to allow for some truth to get out. So when Sister Thea said that, according to what I understand, the great Harry Belafonte, who is now a righteous ancestor, Harry Belafonte saw that interview and he was moved. He reached out to Sister Thea and said, look, I want to do a Hollywood movie about your life. So this is right before she's dying of cancer and all this stuff. It never got off the ground. Simply for the fact, I believe that because Sister Thea was not an average person, like she didn't have a lot of skeletons in her closet. Because like you look at a lot of these movies in Hollywood, they want you to have a certain type of narrative, you know, so they can exploit. Like you think about a lot of biopics, you know, even with the Malcolm X biopic, they had to, you know, start off with him being a child that was basically an orphan at a young age. Then he began into the street life, Detroit Red and stuff like that. Sister Thea had no type of past like that. She wasn't Billie Holiday or nothing like that. She didn't come up like that. Came from a strong middle class background, professional parents, educators, doctor, stuff like that. So I guess Hollywood lost interest in trying to make a feature-length movie about her life. But what I think they did, they borrowed from her life, because she was a renowned singing nun. Like I said, she had an operatic voice, renowned, and you can listen to her stuff online. Sister Thea, stream some of Sister Thea's spirituals and whatever she's saying. It's pretty impressive to me. It's pretty good stuff. But I think what Hollywood ended up doing was they took some of her story and made the Sister Act movie, or movies with Whoopi Goldberg. Because Whoopi Goldberg in the Sister Act was actually like a Vegas style, Las Vegas lounge singer that got caught up in whatever. Then she hid out in the convent, I think, and the rest is history. But I think that is based loosely on Sister Thea, as far as her being a singing nun and teaching people how to sing. Because that's what Sister Thea actually did in real life. And she taught, you know, like I said, ministers how to really feel and connect with their congregation. And I had the chance to talk to people who were trained by her, who were friends of hers, just coming out, for example, to the cemetery on her feast day last year. I had a couple of people come up, they saw what I was doing, and they were just paying their respects for Sister Thea. And they told me about a story when she came to Memphis, and they had a great time after she spoke. But anyway, I think it's important that we remember her. And I'm glad that y'all showed up today. I really appreciate that. I know it took a lot for y'all to get here, but God is real. Sister Thea approves. You can feel that wind. She's approving of everybody being here. So, I guess I'm going to sing, lift every voice and sing. I don't know the lyrics to the song. That's why I got this smartphone. But let's do it, lift every voice and sing. You can join if you know the words, because I barely know the words. I'm a black person. I'm a black American, I admit. Yes, I don't know the words to lift every voice and sing. All right. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listing skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers died. We have come over a way that with tears have been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who has brought us thus far on the way, thou who has died, oh, thou who has by thy might led us into the light. Keep us forever in the path, we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we meet thee, lest our hearts drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadow beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land. Okay, I'm gonna learn that eventually. But that's very important. And like, the thing about it is, Sister Thea was all about doing things from the heart. It's not about being perfect. It's about being perfectly imperfect, and being honest with yourself, being used as an authentic voice for true love and redemption and forgiveness and all that good stuff. We need to practice the art of self-forgiveness. I mean, people always talk about forgive this and forgive them and forgive yourself for being you. There's nothing wrong with being you, but it's okay to fall short. It's okay to lose sometimes. Life is about dealing with loss. You can lose and still win. You know, George Washington, the general and first president of the United States, the general of the American Revolutionary War for the Continental Army, he lost more battles than he won, but yet he won the war. So what does that tell you? It's like, you got to be the man or the person in the arena. If you don't compete, you can't win anything. So don't be afraid to live life off the wall. And that was something Sister Thea really taught me as I go along my journey. And it's another thing I would like to encourage people, because from my understanding, talking to the Elmwood people, Elmwood Cemetery, this is the most requested and visited grave in Elmwood Cemetery. And Elmwood Cemetery has been around since the 1850s. I think it was like the first cemetery in the city of Memphis, in the city of Good Abode. But she's the most requested and visited grave, from my understanding, according to the staff here at Elmwood Cemetery. And you got people from around the world that come pay homage to this amazing woman who's about to be recognized. I feel like it's only a matter of time before she becomes an actual saint, recognized by the church, as y'all call it. But I can speak for myself of the miracles and stuff like that that I have witnessed and been benefited from. I could tell a story. I'll tell a couple stories and make it quick. Back in December of 2022, right before Christmas, went to the doctor. Then a week later, the doctor assistant called me saying that, well, we want to get you checked out. We think you might have something wrong with your kidneys. Your kidneys are kind of look unusual. We last checked your kidneys. I said, right before Christmas, come on, man. Like, I was out here holiday shop. I was at Hobby Lobby buying me some artist supplies, and they're going to tell me this stuff at like 6 something at night. I said, Jesus, really? So what I did was, the next day, I came here to Sister Thea's grave. I came to Sister Thea's grave. That wind, she knows the story. She verified because she blowing this wind. So, like, I came to Sister Thea's grave. I said, Sister Thea, I need help. How can you help me? I might have some issue with my kidneys. The doctors are there, you know, they want me to get some more tests done. So what happened was I started praying. I closed my eyes, I prayed. All of a sudden I felt this warmth, like this sun ray come on to me. like this intense heat. This is a winter. I mean, this is like during December, fall, winter, whatever. I felt this heat coming to me. Then I started feeling wind blowing around, and then I heard this faint woman's voice tell me what to do. It told me specific instructions what to do in order to deal with my kidney situation. I actually did it, and I remember I went to the kidney specialist, and I asked him about what I didn't tell him that a dead woman told me to do this. I just said, what do you think if I do this and that, you know, because this is right before I got the test done. I met with the kidney specialist. He said, that's not going to work. Nah, don't do that. I said, yeah, I'm going to listen to the dead woman. And I take my test. I did what she told me to do. I had the test run. And then, like, on the next visit to the kidney specialist, he said, you know, and they did ultrasounds and everything, blood work, all that stuff. And so when I visited the kidney specialist again, he said, man, I don't know what to say, man. I said, your tests are pretty good. Your kidneys all right. They're normal. I said, really? He said, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Was you taking something? I said, no, I wasn't taking anything. I just did what the dead woman told me to do. So I prayed for family here and for other things, and miracles have happened. I remember I send dirt. Sometimes what I do now is sometimes I collect dirt and from Sister Thea's grave and send it to people or give it to people. And I remember my cousin, this past December, my cousin needed a heart transplant real bad. She was about to die. I mean, the day I was down in Atlanta to visit, something told me not to visit her that day. I believe that was the same day that she had several heart attacks in one day. And the reason why she had this heart situation was because she had cancer when she was younger, and they gave her a radical treatment, a medical treatment, and they told her that one of the consequences of this treatment, of this radical treatment, would be that she'll have heart problems later on. So later on became right now, she had several heart attacks in one day, and they'll try to get her on the list for a heart transplant, you know, because it was like really a matter of true life and death. And so when I found out about that, I came here, I got dirt or grass, water, holy water, whatever, prayed over it, I speak in tongues, sent it to my cousin right before Christmas. And the next thing we know, we get an update from my great aunt, her mom, saying that she got fast tracked for a heart transplant. And they did it on New Year's Eve, 12-hour surgery, successful. I mean, she's making amazing strides. Like, the doctors are surprised that she was able to recover, and she's improving. She's rehabbing, but she's on like a faster track than they thought that she'll be on. So I'm not saying that by me praying and giving her dirt from Sister Thea's grave was what helped. What I'm saying is it didn't hurt, you know, because she got what she needed. And I tell people, Sister Thea is a great intercessor. She can help you get that word to God. I always tell people, go to your ancestors. They're around you. The dead is never dead. And there's another thing I want to say before. Let's see. Another thing. Okay, that's another thing I want to say. Dead people talk to me every day. And yeah, what the hell? Dead people. I don't see dead people all the time. I hear dead people. The thing about it is, I'm gonna tell you what it is. Dead people are not really dead. Death is not death. You understand? You can't kill energy. Like she said, she tried, and she's still trying from beyond the grave. If she wasn't still trying from beyond the grave, we wouldn't be here right now to honor her on her feast day. And really, death is the beginning of a new life for a person. I don't want to scare people. I don't really care. I mean, I spend a lot of time in cemeteries, but dead people do talk to you. Like, even when you listen to old songs, like people that passed on, God would use those old songs and lyrics to communicate something from the beyond. I remember when I was in a spirit shop, getting some candles and stuff like that, and I struck up a conversation with some people at the spirit shop, the candles and all that, the incense and all. You know how people be doing their thing. And I talked about how I figured that there's got to be a lot of witches and warlocks in Memphis, in this area. It got to be a lot of witches. And they probably, there was a lot of witches and warlocks in their room when I said that. But they said something about, about talking to the ancestors. Because one guy was telling me he was a black church musician, or is a black church musician. He told me to pull up Bishop Charles Mason on Google Images. He told me to pull up Bishop Charles Mason. Bishop Charles Mason was the founder of Church of God in Christ. So I pulled it up, and he pointed me to a picture of a middle-aged Bishop Charles Mason looking like a hoodoo man, a conjure man. He had a table with some type of artifacts spread out. It was like he was like a witch doctor. It looked like he was a witch doctor, a hoodoo man, a conjure man. But the thing about it is, they would tell me he was connected, he was spiritually rooted from who he is and where he come from. And that's why his church was successful. If you think about it, Bishop Charles Mason was an unlikely success story. Like, he almost died when he was a teenager, but he prayed to God for curing him. God cured him. He started another denomination, the Church of God, but he had a falling out with those people because they didn't like the way he was going, because Charles Mason had an epiphany about speaking in tongues. Like, I speak in tongues. I had my own story about how I came to speak in tongues, but he had an epiphany about speaking in tongues. So his fellow founders thought he was crazy. They kicked him out. I'm just making it simple. I ain't saying there's all to it, but even his first wife thought he was a little bit nuts and left him. So in November of 1907, he founded the Church of God in Christ in Memphis, Tennessee. And the rest is history. He got married a second time, had a whole bunch of kids, like in his 40s and 50s, and lived to be 95 years old. So he was over his church for at least 54 years. So how could I talk to a man that been dead since November of 61, I believe? How can I talk to him in 2024, or 2023 rather, when this happened? Well, the people there, he showed me the image of Bishop Mason being like, in his conjure stuff. And then there was a sister there. She said, I said, I like to go to cemeteries, and people can't feel like that's weird. She said, no, brother, that's not weird. You talking with the ancestors, they let me know that they approve. You talking with the ancestors. See, when you pray to ancestors on your behalf to pray to God, you pray for what you want, but you gotta be open to receiving what they have to give you that you need. See, they know what you need because they closer to God. They're closer to God than you are right now. They know exactly what you need. You pray for what you want. You may not get what you want, but if you have the discernment and if you are open to receiving what is out there for you, you get what you need. And it's been proven time and time again. So I'm an advocate for connecting with the ancestors and for speaking tongues as well. So, with that said, before we do the replay, we're gonna do the replay. I might need some help. You want to help me do the replay? Yeah.
You need me to do?
Yeah. This is what I thought. Whatever. I'm gonna do this right quick. You like speaking in tongues? You speak in tongues?
I do not speak.
You know how to speak in tongues?
I do not.
Okay. You want to learn how to speak in tongues?
Sure.
Okay. You want to come on camera and speak in tongues?
I don't know about all that.
Okay. You can stay right where you are. Well, I appreciate you having enthusiasm. So I'm gonna speak in tongues. I had people asking for prayer requests and stuff like that. And there's another thing I learned: be careful you ask to pray for you, because you don't know what they're praying for. They could be praying for your downfall. So you ask a person, pray for me. Okay, you don't know what they're praying about. Or if a person tell you, I won't pray for you, respect that, please. Don't force them to pray for you. It's like when you play with somebody that's fixing your food. You don't want that either. So I'll pass this, and we're gonna speak in tongues to bless this occasion through the Wreath line, and then we can conclude the services. Okay, I think we're making good time. Excellent. All right. Yeah. You gotta be willing to make a fool of yourself for a higher purpose, a bigger cause. It's bigger than my coolness or swag, and that's why I want people to know it's okay to be vulnerable when it comes to spirituality. It's okay to be open to receiving, to be made to look like a fool in the world, because the world, you shouldn't be trying to follow the trends of the world. If your morality is based on what society tells you is right or wrong, then you are always going to be wrong, because you got to have that inside of you that God gave. You got to access not only the free will, but also the common sense that he wanted to become in the Most High, the universe. So God has for you. You are a gift. You are a gift. So don't treat the gift so poorly. Do not talk down on yourself because you're confusing the spirit and the universe. I always tell people, Dr. Black, okay, the ancestors approved. The ancestors, they in the house. Words create worlds. Words create worlds. Like, I like rap music. My favorite rapper is Tupac. I love Biggie too as well. And but here's the thing. Words create worlds. Biggie's first album was, you know what Biggie's first album name was? Notorious B.I.G. What's the title of his first album? His first album was entitled Ready to Die. You know the name of his second album? Life After Death. When did that album come out? After he was dead. I'm not laughing about it, but damn, you spoke this out, and cause I don't think people know you playing with spirits. Like with us as black people, we have a interest connection to like the soul thing, and like you look at even Tupac. He did a lot of songs about death around the corner and death. He wrote a poem about in the event of my demise. He already faded that he was gonna die young, and so it happened. He manifested that. And the thing about it is that, if you can speak down on yourself and bad things happen, why not speak good in yourself and good things happen? You know what I'm saying? So like, we gotta understand what we're dealing with, because even, people want to criticize the rappers, the Biggies and Tupac, but I mean, Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, they do these gangster movies. They still alive. They out in their 80s and stuff. So I don't know why is it Al Pacino and them? They can live a long time. These black guys can't live that long. The thing about it is, because you gotta understand, and Sister Thea is telling me this, that you gotta understand you put here for a grander purpose than to be just famous or to make a lot of money. You here for a significant reason, and if you don't honor the mission that God has for you, because God gives you free will, everybody has a purpose and an anointment. They can either embrace or betray. Like every generation has an obligation to either betray or honor their revolution. Every generation. So you have an obligation as an individual, as a free spirit, as a representative of the Most High, the I am, because you I am. You the I am. You have a responsibility to yourself, to to either do your purpose or neglect it. But make it your duty to find out what that purpose is before you reject it. Make it your duty to find out what that purpose is before you reject it. And then Sister Thea said she tried. So I'm trying in honor of Sister Thea. And when you try, the only way you can fail is if you stop trying. So on that note, That I guess this Wreath over here. I'll let you do the honor. You're gonna hang it on this. Take off the African mask and hang it. And play the music. Oh, when the saints, yeah, come marching in. Oh, when the saints come marching in. Oh, I want to be in that number, yeah. When the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. I wanna be that number, daddy, sweet mama, when the guys are calling, yeah. When them saints go marching in. Okay. I guess that concludes today's services. If you like the words from Brother Hurd, please spread the word. We'll be posting this on the social medias and stuff like that. We want to encourage people to live out loud. Do not apologize for showing up as you. Yes, apologize if you did somebody wrong, if you made a mistake. Do never apologize for being 100% authentically you. Sister Thea never apologized. Sister Thea still loves you madly, and so does Brother Ronald. We love you madly. Keep on producing and pushing, and we are out of here. Okay.